I'm kicking myself for not taking the alternate spread on that game that had San Francisco minus 14 and it was like plus a shit ton of money. I should have bet it. I knew I should have.
Like I said, don't you wish you had a mulligan? Like,
Yeah.
I think that every time for underdog, it's like, man, if I could like go back in time, and tell myself you got to take the under for that, not the over. Like, I'd be rich.
Yeah. You too?
I
I'd be
mean,
stacked in cash.
welcome to View from the Top of the Goalpost. Chad's waving and freaking me out. I did not know what he was doing. Hi, I'm Diesel, joining you in Diesel's Dapper Dungeon of Delight. And it is View from the Top of the Goalpost. I'm joined as always by the Dadillac. The game is afoot. We have Chad.
Hi. As you can see, I am clearly not in the cave. I am still in my house, but I am upstairs in our 3-season patio. And it's a little chilly, so I got my hoodie on, and we're just doing some work down in my basement/office. So couldn't podcast from down there tonight. Place is a mess, so set him up here, and you get this lower quality photo of me. So I'm sorry if you don't get to see all my pops today, but they'll be back next week, probably.
Hopefully. But I don't know. We might as well just talk about last week. I did not do as good as Chad once again. He's starting to pull away a little bit, only a game at a time. I went 10-6. Chad won 11-5, which brings our season total to Chad's 50-30, 20 games over 500. That's nice. And I am 48-32. And game here, game there. Like, could have got you, but it didn't. And now you're just the smarter prognosticator on this show.
I mean, isn't it that obvious? I thought we already knew that before the show even started, but I'm just glad it's being proven out right now. Though I'm not gonna get too big for my britches. I know it's only gonna take 1 week of Chad going, how crazy do I want to be? And I'll just lose by like 6 games, and then I'll be in a hole that I never climb out of. That's how it happened last year. So that's what I'm trying to avoid this year.
So they'd be like, oh, so like last year didn't count?
No, it counted.
Whatever.
Definitely counted.
But yeah, we got some football to talk about. We have 2 teams on bye this week. We have the first place Pittsburgh Steelers, who saw that coming after made our picks last week. I didn't think that they'd be sitting in first place, but they are. And then we also have the second place Green Bay Packers, and I have a little something that I'm going to do that is brought over from our other show, View from the Top Rope. It's time for Diesel's Dilemmas.
Just remember, you were warned.
Run!
No one is safe now.
And you stupid idiot, smarty pants, stupid idiot.
Well, I got a lot of things to say, and it is about the Packers, and it's towards the Packers fan base. Like, sometimes I'm embarrassed to be a part of this fan base. We came into the season in agreement that the Packers were not going to be great. We came into the season not even really expecting them to make the playoffs. But all of a sudden, after week 5, we're 2-3, and the season is over. We're acting like we're a Super Bowl team. Like, nobody knows what's going on. Everybody's blaming something different. It's one simple thing. We're young. The team is young. Like, the offense is young. Like, Jordan Love is, technically he's been in the league for 4 years, but he's essentially a rookie. Like, he was practicing, and as Allen Iverson said, it's practice. It's not a game. You don't get game reps in practice. He's learning. The games that they've lost, I mean, they could be 4-1 because they could have won that Atlanta game. They could have won against the Raiders. They could be 4-1, but they're not. They made mistakes. These are called learning experiences. And that's what young teams need to go through. So stop freaking out and saying Jordan Love isn't the guy. He's learning. Like, chill out. It's not the end of the world. We're 2-3, and there was a big narrative before the game started on Monday night that this was a must-win game. In week 5, when they're 2-2, I just don't understand how everything changed in 5 weeks where we were all in agreement that, yeah, if the Packers won 8 games this year, that's a success. They can still win 8 games. That's not out of the possibility. That's only 6 more games out of the 12 games they have left to play. I'm flabbergasted at like how dumb some of the people in this fan base are. It just calm down, do as our former MVP told us, the RELAX. It's gonna be fine. We are not winning anything this year. Just calm down. But if you want to talk about Matt LaFleur, I've had a roller coaster of emotions about this. Like on Monday night, I was all about maybe it's time for Matt LaFleur to go. His play calling isn't doing it, and I think that might have been a knee-jerk reaction. I don't think Matt LaFleur is a bad play caller. I think he's calling bad plays. He's setting Jordan Love up for bad situation, and his scheme isn't working. With Christian Watson being back with the Packers, Romeo Doubs should be getting schemed open, but he's not, and it just doesn't make any sense. I think that Matt LaFleur is a wuss, and he's afraid to take risks, and he takes risks at the wrong times and throw interceptions. And I know he's not throwing the ball, but he's not setting Jordan Love up for success right now. And, like, don't get me wrong, Jordan Love hasn't played great either. Like, I'm not saying that he doesn't hold any of the blame, because he does hold some of the blame. But I just think that Matt LaFleur isn't he's not nutting up. That's basically all it is. I think that Matt LaFleur is better than this. And at least I hope. Maybe it's just my optimism. Maybe my reaction on Monday wasn't knee-jerk. But, yeah, that's my dilemma. I don't know what else to say.
As always, it's a very common thing from our old show. We used to do this. I just sit back and let him get it all off of his chest. And then afterwards, he feels a lot better. And usually I agree with him. And in this case, totally agree with him again. I don't understand how the Packers fan base completely flipped this script. And I know Jordan Love had a couple good games in there, and he was leading the NFL in QBR, and that's what everyone was harking on. But this is supposed to be a bad season. This is supposed to be a growing season. If the Packers do manage to sneak into the playoffs, that is the biggest win ever. So for everyone to just suddenly start like losing their flipping minds about them being 2-3 at this point is idiotic. And I texted you as well. Matt LaFleur, I've said many times on this podcast, this is the first chance that as Packers fans, they are getting to see what Matt LaFleur is as a head coach. And folks, I know it's only 5 games, but I think your first reaction was correct, Diesel. I don't think LaFleur is ready to be a head coach. And you are 100% right that he is a le fraud. And he should get the out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, he had us fooled.
He did. Quickly, with a couple locks from last week, we should probably talk about those. So
we could have done that first, I suppose.
Yeah. Chad, throw the graphic up. And there we go. As you can see, once again, the bronze and silver locks hit. And because of Le Flawed, oh, wow. Now I'm just throwing, I can't even do it. There's too many L's in there. The golden lock did not hit as the Packers lost. The Houston covered, as well as the New Orleans Saints, not only covering, but destroying the New England Patriots, which hurt a lot. And then, as you can see, the 2 bonus locks that we got wrong were the LA Rams plus 5.5, which they could have covered very easily in that game. They just got shut out in the second half, but they did keep the game close the entire time, so I don't feel bad about that pick. And then Baltimore lost to Pittsburgh. And the less I say about that game, the better it is for my blood pressure. So I'm just going to move on. We went 3-3 this last week. We'll do better this week. The gold lock, I am guaranteeing it right now, is hitting this week. I'm guaranteeing the gold lock is going to freaking hit.
You fools.
I wish you luck. I'm excited to see what the gold lock is. And please never pick the Packers again.
Never. I'm never going to.
You're like Brandon Perna. You jinxed the Packers with that gold lock. You guaranteed it.
I did. I even told people at work too. Like a guy asked, he's like, "Who are you going with tonight?" I was like, "I put the golden lock on the Packers, and I'm sticking with it." And I'm sorry, man. I didn't catch your name, and assuming you lost your survivor pool because of me, and I'll take that loss. That's on me, and I'm sorry.
All right, well, let's get into some Week 6 picks. Starting as always with Thursday Night Football. It's another stinker of a game. We have the 1-4 Denver Broncos taking on the 4-1 Kansas City Chiefs. I guess it's unfair to say it's a stinker of a game because, I mean, actually every game that Denver's played this year has actually been pretty interesting. I'm not going to lie. So this one will probably be pretty interesting because the Chiefs have actually played some interesting games this year as well. Like, it's weird. Their records are the exact opposite of each other, and the Chiefs could legitimately be 1-4.
Oh, yeah. If they didn't have the Zebras playing for them, they could legitimately easily be 1-4.
That's very true. But that being said, Chiefs are favored by 10.5 with a 47-point over/under, and America has the Chiefs at 99%. And it's in Kansas City. I'm not going against Kansas City in this game, even though I kind of want to. Like, I mean, I don't know. There's something about Denver. Like, I'm sure they'll have the lead in this game and blow it. But, yeah, I can't pick Denver, especially in Kansas City. Maybe if it was in Denver. Plus, Denver never beats Kansas City, ever.
No,
it's like their arch nemesis.
15 straight times Kansas City has beaten Denver. And I guess future Chad, please look this up. I don't know what Denver is against the spread in those 15 games, but I would assume it's pretty bad as well because Kansas City tends to whoop up on the Denver Broncos. And I'm clearly going with Kansas City in this game. And fun fact, Diesel, through 5 weeks of NFL action, the bonus lock is hit every single time for Thursday Night Football. In 5 weeks of football, did not get a single bonus lock wrong for Thursday Night Football. So Week 6 is where we start because I can't believe I'm going to do this. I hate eating this many points, but I do think Denver is that bad of team. I will put the bonus lock of the week for Thursday Night Football on the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to eat those 14 points. It's disgusting, and I don't like the meal at all. But, man, once again, if you don't cover these 14 points, Kansas City, I'm even more right about you. Huh?
10.5.
10.5. Oh, so wait, 10.5? Oh, shit. Then, yeah, I'll eat those 10.5. That's even better. Yes, I'll take that 10.5 points and eat the Kansas City. So, bonus lock, still terrified of it. I hate more than a 2-score favorite, but Denver's bad. And I think at this point, is Sean Payton just trying to get out of Denver? Like, he wants to be out of there, right?
And with Sean Payton, you never know. It's one crazy guy.
He thinks I'm crazy. You think I'm crazy?
Man, that game last week, though, I can't believe how it went down when they were like driving, had a chance to win it, and then of course Russell Wilson, who hasn't been the problem all year, has that fumble and it's a strip in for a touchdown. Like, I almost felt bad for the Broncos, but then I realized they're wearing all orange, and I kept on thinking they were the Buccaneers. Every time the white helmets and the orange jerseys, I'm like, oh, it's the Buccaneers. They're wearing the creamsicle. That's the Broncos.
It really did help that the Bucs were on bye this last week because if they had been playing, it would have been very confusing watching Red Zone. But yeah, I do feel bad because in that situation, and once again to shout out Brandon Perna and Tom Grassi, when they were watching the game, the football never bounces that perfectly, and then for someone to catch it without even any problems at all. People can't pick or grab the ball when it's just laying on the ground and they try to dive on it. That dude caught the ball at a full speed while it was bouncing across to him. Like, that is some wild just physics, and the fact that it all worked out perfectly is very impressive. Almost as impressive as Diesel fixing his camera on the fly.
I'm not fixing my camera. I have a cat on the other side of my computer rubbing up against and trying to close my laptop here. So
nice.
Yeah. So
looks like Lambeau Field's having a earthquake.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna have to deal with it for a second because cat is ruthless. But and if I just disappear, it's because she just popped down and just shut my computer. So yeah, I know, breaking the fourth wall. I don't have any fancy computer equipment. I just use a laptop. So anyways, this cat is driving me nuts. Just a second.
My co-host is experiencing technical difficulties.
She was gonna do it. She's done it before. She's popped my computer close. Anyways, moving on. Next game, we're going back to jolly old London town, and I'm not gonna do an accent this week, but it was a nice touch putting that clip in there. I like that. Yeah, we have the 3-2 Baltimore Ravens traveling to the 3-2 Tennessee Titans. Baltimore is favored by 4 with a 41-point over-under, and America has, let's just say, the world has Baltimore at 85%. I picked first the last game, and I know it's that time of the week, so go for it. The floor is yours.
You know, folks, last week hurt a lot. It not only hurt in the fact that I have all of my eggs in this one basket known as the Baltimore Ravens, but the way that they lost that game to Pittsburgh, just a blocked punt for a safety, and then to get the ball back, and like, legitimately, what were the Ravens doing? You have first down, less than 8 yards to go for a touchdown. You only need a field goal to make it an 8-point game again. Why in the hell are you in shotgun 3 straight plays and throwing 3 straight plays? I don't even have a problem if you're going to run the ball out of shotgun, maybe with a QB draw from Lamar freaking Jackson, the best running quarterback in the NFL. But no. And then on the interception you throw, the only guy who even goes out on the route is OBJ. How do you run a single route freaking option in the red zone? There is so little space. There's only one receiver out there to throw to. Of course you threw an interception. Like, God, that was painful. And then Kenny Pickett to frickin' that game really made my blood pressure soar. And watching the Baltimore Ravens piss that away, and also piss away some money that I should have won from that game because it was an obvious lock. But neither here nor there. That was last week, and this is this week. And you know what team I am still very much down on, even though they do seem to be tough? The Tennessee Titans. You're a bunch of jokes. So, folks, with the Baltimore Ravens lock of the week, I'm not getting off of this train. I'm not taking these eggs out of the basket. Sure, a couple might have been broken, but I'm staying true to my guns, and I'm firing straight through. You hammer the Baltimore Ravens -4. I don't care if it gets to -5. Baltimore's going to come out pissed off. Their defense played lights out against Pittsburgh, except for a couple plays, okay? That game, that loss to Pittsburgh, was an abnormality. It is a division game. Tennessee is not a division opponent. And Baltimore is going to come out and kick their heads in jolly old London town and give us the boring-ass London games that we usually get, which are one-sided affairs where the other one team scores all the points, the other team does nothing, and you just get to watch 3 hours of them just doing crowd shots of all the funny outfits in the stadium they are in. So give me Baltimore. -4, -5, -6, I don't care. They're going to rock the Tennessee Titans. Please, Baltimore, pull it back. Get it going. And let's not be dumb this week.
Yeah. John Harbaugh is not a good coach anymore. Like, I'm for sure of it. I'm a fan of the Jaguar Gator 9 channel on YouTube, who does Dumbest Decisions every week. And this week was the second time he did a video on John Harbaugh because he is an idiot. He's done 2 on Josh McDaniels this year too already, because yeah, both of those guys are real bad. But yeah, John Harbaugh, I'm surprised he's a Super Bowl winning coach, to be honest with you. He makes so many dumb decisions, and I don't even know what to say. That game was bad, but I do know one of the things you did say about that game last week was you didn't care that it was a division game because that didn't matter because the Ravens were going to win. I think the only reason the Ravens lost was because it was a division game.
Yep.
And it just crazy stuff happens.
Yep.
When, especially in the AFC North. That one seems like you can never predict that division, especially, I don't know. But that being said, I'm down on Tennessee too. Who did they play last week? I don't even remember at this point. It's been so long since Sunday. Let me see. They played Indianapolis. They lost.
They lost.
They're not 3-2. They're 2-3. See, it's been so long since Sunday. I messed that up. Yeah, Tennessee isn't that great. I have Baltimore all day.
Woo!
I mean, Gardner Minshew beat them, and don't get me wrong, Gardner Minshew's good, but yeah, still. Moving on, next game, noon, Sunday. We have, these are the correct
Records.
Thanks, Chaz.
No problem.
We have Washington Red. No, dang it.
Twice.
Commanders. 2-3, traveling to the 3-2 Atlanta Falcons. The whole time I'm saying, don't say Braves. Don't say Braves. I'm just all over the place right now. Atlanta is favored by 2.5 with a 42.5 point over/under, and 68% favors Atlanta. And I'm telling you right now, I'm taking Atlanta because it's in Atlanta, and I should have taken them last week because I forgot the fact that Ritter has never lost a home game since college. So
Since high school. No.
Well, I mean, he didn't lose a single home game in college. I'm saying back all the way since college. He hasn't lost a home game. So I should have taken him last week. I can't believe I forgot about that. I'm not picking against them this week, and plus Washington isn't that great.
Yeah, I
take that back. Riverboat Ron isn't that great.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't be called Riverboat Ron anymore. He's not a gambler. He plays it too safe.
Careful now. Be careful.
Yeah, he should be called Tugboat Charlie or something. It's definitely he's no longer a riverboat gambler. He's just a little tiny tugboat.
He lost to the freaking Bears, man.
Yeah, and embarrassingly lost to the Bears.
Rest in peace. He's one of the greatest of all time. But if he wouldn't have died on Thursday night, the night the Bears were playing on Thursday night, I don't know if the Bears were actually going to win that game.
No. So here's my dilemma, because first of all, I've already put the fun fact before up about Desmond Ritter, but I'll update it and put it up again. Bing, right there for you folks. But yes, he's got to lose a game eventually, right? At home. And the Commanders are coming off of a, quasi mini bye. They didn't play since last Thursday. Atlanta just played in another knockdown, drag-out battle. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to talk myself into it. You know what, Sam Howell? Maybe you are the answer. Maybe you're not. But you know what you do? You throw the ball all over the field, and you're basically Taylor Heineke 2.0 for the commies. So I'm kind of getting behind you a little bit. You're giving me those little old Taylor Heineke tingles that I got, and you're gonna go out there and you're gonna beat Desmond Ritter. You're gonna crush his home winning streak, and in that he's gonna get benched, and you're gonna get your boy, our best friend Taylor,
My best friend.
onto that football field, starting for the Atlanta Falcons. So give me the Washington Commies. Let's go, Sam Howell. And by association, let's go Taylor Heineke.
I actually like Sam Howell too, and I think a lot of people aren't giving him time. Just like Jordan Love, he's only started 6 games. So it's just chill out. Let these guys get a feel for actually playing in the NFL before we give them at least double-digit games. I mean, is that too much to ask?
Oh, way too much, man. You are. Who do you think we are, man? We don't have that kind of time. You get 2 games, and if you aren't good then, you're out.
Well, moving on to a battle of 2 1-4 teams and division rivals, we have the Minnesota Vikings traveling to the Chicago Bears. It's at noon on Sunday. Minnesota is favored by 2.5, the 44.5 point over/under. And the fans have it at 67% Minnesota. who you got in this game and why, because I honestly think it's 50-50.
So, man, the Vikings are, this year is such, I just love the perfect symmetry that is the universe and that the script writers for the NFL give us. Last year, the Vikings were a absolute dog shit team that had this astounding record. Like, legitimately, you looked at their record, you were like, that's going to be the Super Bowl winning team there, right? Like, they won so many games. They were a terrible team all year. They had a negative point differential. They were just bad. They just got lucky week after week. And this year, the Vikings are actually a pretty good team. Like, they are scrappy AF. They are not messing around. They're doing it with pieces. Like, they lost Justin Jefferson in this game. They have no running game at all. Like, legitimately, they can't run the ball to save their lives, yet they're in every one of these games. They just took Kansas City to the limit, and if it weren't for the refs, they probably could have won that game.
He's being investigated for bribery.
Or at least tied it, take it to overtime. Like, they only lost by 7. And then you have the Chicago Bears, who, well, they suddenly remembered how to play offense for these past 2 weeks. They've put up almost 100 points over these last 2 games. Justin Fields suddenly looks like an NFL quarterback, and the defense is still garbage. So, first of all, this is where the golden lock of the week is going, folks. Hammer this over. Hammer it. Golden lock of the week. Hammer the over of this Minnesota-Chicago game, because, folks, ain't no one playing no defense in this game, and you know it to be true. And also, it might be a sloppy, rainy day. And you know what that leads to? Turnovers and pick sixes and fumbles and short fields. I can see a lot of just garbage touchdowns being scored in this game from bad field conditions, and Justin Fields and Kirk Cousins are going to light it up. You have them in fantasy, folks. I would start them. I would hammer this. I would get as many players from this game in as you could. And hopefully next week I will not eat those words. But yes, golden lock of the week, the over. And because I do think this is a 50-50 game, Diesel, I agree with that. You know I'm picking against the Vikings. So give me the Chicago Bears. Why not? Every time I pick them, they lose, though. So, Diesel, I will give you that piece of trivia. And when I pick against the Bears, they win. So, but I'm going to pick the Bears.
I mean, I'm kind of feeling the Bears in this game too, but like I said, it's 50-50. I would be way more confident if Minnesota did have Justin Jefferson, but Kirk Cousins is slinging the ball around this year. I mean, Kirk Cousins isn't a bad quarterback, and I like to make fun of Kirk Cousins because he plays for the Vikings, but he's better than any quarterback Chicago has had in the history of their organization. That is a fact.
Yeah.
And
you like that?
Because of that, it is 50-50. I'm going with Minnesota. Because you picked Chicago. Why not? I need to get some games on you, so hopefully I can get lucky. And maybe Minnesota will win. I mean, if it's a one-possession game, they're going to lose. They're only winning one-possession game this year, and they already did it.
They already done it.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Minnesota. So they're going to have to win by 9 just so I can – it has to be one possession. But,
hammer the over, folks. Hammer it.
I agree with that. There isn't going to be no defense in this game. Both teams are going to score 40 at least. So I'm excited. That game should be pretty fun to watch. Not going to lie.
Yeah, and you know it's going to be the game of the week on here in Wisconsin because it's 2 North teams playing each other. So That will take precedence.
Moving on to Sunday at noon, we have the 3-1 Seattle Seahawks traveling to the 2-3 Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati is favored by 2.5 with a 45-point over-under, and 66% favor Cincinnati. And this game is tough because Cincinnati actually looked good last week. Jamar Chase finally got some touchdowns.
Always
Joe
open.
Burrow didn't look what?
I said always open.
Always open. He was too. Joe Burrow didn't look like the calf was really affecting him. He was pretty mobile. He was running the ball. But I mean, that being said, they were playing Arizona, and Arizona finally looked like the team that we thought they were going to look like.
And you turn back into a pumpkin.
Maybe the first month of the season was just all a fluke. I kind of wish I wouldn't have picked them last week now. But that also makes me think, like, are the Bengals good? Like, I don't know with the Bengals. I think they're getting T. Higgins back this week. I think that's what I heard. So that should definitely help. But Seattle's coming off a bye, and their offense is just nasty. And I don't think Cincinnati's defense is very good. And I think that Seattle has a better defense than Cincinnati. I'm going with Seattle because I just think they edge them out in like every category besides like quarterback and maybe wide receiver, but they're close at wide receiver.
Ooh, it's close. That's nasty, yeah.
It is. But yeah, I'm going Cincinnati, or not Cincinnati, I'm going Seattle. And yeah, it is close though. I really do think that I think this will be another good game. I'm just not sold on Cincinnati anymore. I'm not sure if they're good, but I think we'll have more answers after this week.
Oh, 100%. We're going to have some real answers about both these teams. So first of all, if you know me and you've listened to either last season of us doing this podcast or you've ever talked to me, I hate picking against teams coming off the bye. Coming off the bye, basically, to me, is the golden free pass that you better win your next game. Like, you've had 2 weeks to prepare for this. You are not tired. You are rested. You are as recovered as you could be in a season. This should be a game that you circle as a W. Every year, your game after your bye should be a guaranteed W for a team. But I told you, Cincinnati uses that first month of the season as a preseason. And boy, howdy, did that preseason tune-up of those first 4 games seem to help. Because, wow. And yes, it was against the Arizona Fighting Chickens, but hey, Arizona had been competitive with everyone else they played through 90% of the game. Cincinnati beat the brakes off of Arizona from bell to bell. It wasn't close. I mean, I pretty much just threw that parlay out the minute that game started. After I watched like the first like opening drive, I was like, well, Arizona is not winning this game and this is not going to hit. So I guess I'll move on to Sunday Night Football because dang, all you got to do is get Jamar Chase the ball and that team just cooks. Joe Mixon didn't even have that good a game. No one else on that team had any kind of a good game. Didn't matter. Jamar Chase blew up. I would love to take the Seattle Sea Chickens here because they're coming off their bye. And I'd have to eat some crow on this because they're a way better team than I thought they were going to be this year. Geno Smith does look like he is a above average to good quarterback in the NFL. And that offense is just sick nasty. But give me Cincinnati here. I think that they're pushing the right buttons and they're going to just get healthier and better and better. And they're going to probably reel off, 5, 6, 7 wins here in a row. And then they're going to lose another stupid game. But Cincinnati gets up for the big games. So I think they can beat Seattle here.
It was huge for Cincinnati that Pittsburgh won too, because that gets them a game closer. It's man, some of these division races early are really like intriguing already. Like I don't know how some of them are going to end up. This one's going to go right down to the wire, and I'm all for it.
If only Baltimore would have done what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, they were who they thought we were, whatever it was. Anyways, I like what you said about not liking to pick against a team that's off their bye. Because in this next game, I think there's 100% chance you're not picking the team that's coming off their bye. Because at noon on Sunday, we have the 5-0 San Francisco 49ers traveling to the 2-2 Cleveland Browns. San Francisco's only favored by 6.5, which is kind of a shocker. But it's only an over-under of 37. 96% favor San Francisco in this game. So, I mean, I'm not picking against San Francisco. I said this last week. I don't see a week this year where I'm going to pick against them. And it's going to come back to bite me. I know it will because they're not going undefeated because to do that is nearly impossible. And we've only seen that once in our lifetimes, their undefeated regular season. So it's...
And there's a whole extra game you'd have to do it now, too. It wouldn't just be 16-0. It'd be 17-0. Which
is even more impressive. San Francisco is not going to lose to the Browns. I think, like, Christian McCaffrey, he kind of got a week off last week. Like, he only had 12 points in fantasy. So...
Only 12.
I think he's going to come in this game rested, and he's going to get back to his, like, 22-point average. So, I think that San Francisco is going to win this game by more than 6.5. And if I were betting on the over-under, I would take the over all day because San Francisco is going to score a lot of points in this game. And I know Cleveland has good defense, but, man, San Francisco just has a way of wearing teams out. They're so fast. San Francisco good.
Yeah, 100%. Once again, I'm picking two teams coming off their bye to lose because without question, I am picking San Francisco. I've said it. You have said it. In good conscience, there is no reason that you would pick against them, barring a major, like, series of injuries. Not just, like, one injury either. It would have to be a, like half of the team would have to just get wiped off the map or something. Like we have the Dark Knight situation where the field just gets blown up and they lose their entire starting defense, okay? That's when I would have to start picking against San Francisco. But yes, the bronze lock of the week, hammer that over, folks. San Francisco has scored 30-plus points in, I think, 8 or 9 straight games. They are going to cover this over by themselves. I bet by the time that this game actually kicks off, the over will be closer to probably like 40. I bet it will climb that many points in this few days because, as we've said before, we record this podcast on a Wednesday, so there's still, 5 days till Sunday. But yes, bronze lock of the week, hammer that over. God, I love that over. I am putting it on every card that I can get it on. And I don't care if it gets up to 41, I'm still going to be hammering that over. But San Francisco is going to win this game. The question is, by how much do they win this game? Because San Francisco is leagues and leagues above everyone else, it feels like. They are not beating teams. They're destroying teams. They make you look bad. Like, they make you look like you don't know how to play football.
They're a complete team. They're the only complete team in the NFL, in my opinion.
Yep.
And like I said last week, they're giving me Stockholm Syndrome because I have half their team on fantasy. And, I mean, kind of like it. But, I mean, that's just the Stockholm Syndrome talking. So, moving on to the next game at noon on Sunday. We have 0-5 Carolina Panthers traveling to the 4-1 Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are favored by 13.5 with a 48.5 point over under. And Dolphins are at 99% fan pick to win. And is Carolina going to win a game this year? They don't have any weapons. Like,
what are you talking about? They got Adam Thielen.
They got Adam Thielen, but Adam Thielen, I mean, and he's having a resurgence because last year he sucked.
He did.
But I mean, he's not the guy that you need a guy like a DJ Moore would have been great to have with Bryce Young, someone that you can build your offense around. This combination of Young to Moore, I thought that was the stupidest trade in my opinion when they gave up 2 first rounds and DJ Moore. It's like that was the only way you were going to get the first pick from the Bears. That was
especially when I know, and I am a big believer in Young. I think he will be a good NFL quarterback. I think he's just going to take a little time. But there was multiple. Richardson was still going to be there. Bryce. CJ Stroud would have still been there. To trade up and give that much away for that one guy,
You got fleeced.
I don't think Bryce Young is going to be the next John Elway or Patrick Mahomes. So I don't think it was worth it for that. I think he's going to be a good NFL starter for the next, decade.
This isn't helping him.
Yeah. But yeah, giving up every one of your draft picks and your best wide receiver to get him definitely is not going to help any situation. So as I said last week, Carolina is very poorly ran. They're a bad organization and they are definitely in free fall right now.
I mean, this is how you ruin young QBs, though. Like, there's been a lot of QBs that were highly touted coming into the league, and I know sometimes they just don't transition, but in Bryce Young's case, he looked like a perfect NFL quarterback, and I don't know, I don't like how they just didn't do anything. They didn't give him any weapons. It was very, very far-sighted on their part, or nearsighted. I don't know which one it is. It was not good. That's what I'm trying to say. And there's no way I'm picking Carolina in this game because Miami, they're beasts. And even without A-Chain, which, man, that sucks that he went down because he's been the probably most electric player of the first quarter of this season. Just came out of nowhere. And, yeah, it sucks. I hate to see that. But, I mean, Mostert's still good, and they still have Waddle, and they still have Tyreek Hill, and they still have Tua, and they don't have a bad defense, and Mike McDaniel is a crazy, crazy, crazy guy, but he's really good at coaching. So I got Miami all day, without question. Yeah, 13.5 points. I would be surprised if it was under that.
Yeah, so couple fun facts that I don't need to flash up on the screen because I looked them up before. Actually, I saw one of these on Sunday, and by one of them, I saw them both on Sunday, and I remembered to write them down so I could say them this week on the podcast because I think they're amazing stats. So first of all, on the catch and run by Tyreek Hill this past week, where I think it was like 60 some yards. He didn't score a touchdown, but he ran all the way back across the field. Tyreek Hill reached a speed of 22 miles per hour. As a human being, that is insanity. But the crazy fact is that is the fastest speed recorded this year in the NFL so far. But the fun fact is that all 7 of the top speeds recorded in the NFL this year are all Miami Dolphins players.
That is nuts. Yeah, I saw that too. I'm on the Dolphins bandwagon. I've said it many, many times, and I ain't jumping off anytime soon. I like the makeup of this team. Like, there isn't much about this team that I don't like. So I'm find myself rooting for the Dolphins every single week. And that's weird for me because growing up, I did not like the Dolphins. And I didn't have like a reason not to like the Dolphins. I think Dan Marino just annoyed me when I was a kid. I don't know why. I think it was his face. But yeah. And laces out, Dan. But yeah.
See, my best friend growing up, for some unknown reason, to both of us, neither of us know, always was a Dolphins fan growing up. So I've always hated the Dolphins, not just because of being a Patriots fan, but because you also, generally, you like to root against your best friend's favorite thing. It's just something you do just to really, needle your best friend a little bit,
That why you're wearing like Dolphins green right now?
I actually realized that as you said the bandwagon stuff. I was like, shit, I am wearing basically a Dolphins sweatshirt. But I do have a fun fact number 2 about the Dolphins offense this year. The Dolphins offense through 5 weeks has produced 2,545 scrimmage yards, which is a new NFL record, which dethrones the previous holders, the greatest show on turf, the St. Louis Rams of the year 2000, who had put up 2,527 yards. So not only are they the fastest players in the entire NFL right now, they are also putting up yards at a rate that is beyond anything we've ever seen. The Dolphins, if Tua stays healthy and doesn't go out with an injury or anything like that, are going to be next to impossible to stop all year. I got the Dolphins. Bonus lock of the week, put it on -13. If I just don't see how they can keep it close. The Carolina isn't a good team. They couldn't keep it close against the Lions, and I think the Dolphins are here and the Lions are here, which means Carolina's down here. And by that math, ain't gonna work for Carolina keeping it close.
I mean, there's been a lot of good records that have been broken through like the first 5 weeks of the season. Like you have Puka Nakua. He had the catch. He basically had the catch record through 5 weeks at 4.
Yeah,
that's how crazy his season has been. You have CJ Stroud, who has yet to throw a pick yet through 5 games, who set the record for most pass attempts without throwing a pick to start a career. Then you have that insane like record that you just said. This season has been off to like a stellar start with stuff like that, and I love it. Love every minute of it.
love it.
Moving on to the next game. I think we have another game. I don't know. Actually, I'm not even gonna say. I just want to hear what you say about this one. We have at noon on Sunday, 4-1 Detroit Lions traveling to the 3-1 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Detroit's favored by 3 with a 44-point over/under, and the fans have Detroit at 85%. Very interested in hearing your take, because like I would think they're going to take Detroit, but I don't know. There's something. I don't know. I have a weird feeling about you.
For the first time this week, America, I get to say my new favorite phrase. You dumb.
You know nothing.
Because the Buccaneers are gonna win this game. Yes, coming off the bye week, I've been waiting for this game this whole time because this is the game. This is the Buccaneers' game to win. They're coming off their bye week. They're at home. They're coming up against a Lions team that is flying high. Once again, all of the smoke is being blown up their kitty tushies, and they are so high on themselves. They have to come down to Tampa Bay. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. Detroit ain't hot and humid. It's cold. It's cold up here. And they aren't going to be ready for it. They play in a dome usually. Hopefully it's rainy. And you know what? Baker Mayfield, I'm the one on this bandwagon now, Diesel. I know you've ridden it for a long time, but move on over, buddy, because I'm jumping on right next to you. Let's go, Baker. Their defense, I don't know a single name on it, but you know what? That Tampa Bay defense is pretty damn good. Oh, Vita Vea. You're right. I did know one name.
Shaq. God.
Lawson?
Yeah.
Ha! All right, 2. All right, we got 2. I think Tampa Bay can win this game. I really do. I think that once again, Detroit is a good team. They are a very good team, but they're not great. And you know what happens to very good teams? They lose some games that you probably shouldn't lose. And once again, Tampa Bay, 2 weeks of preparation at home. That Mike Evans is going to be healthy for the game. He's had these 2 weeks to rest that hamstring. Baker is on a revenge course. And this is a game I see the Lions losing. Give me the Buccaneers.
Every time we get the Buccaneers versus the Lions, it reminds me of the old NFC Central days, the bottom dwellers. These two teams were always in the basement fighting to not be at the bottom. So that's the case this year. Both of the teams, I like Tampa Bay. And you know what? Like I said last week with the Bills and Jaguars, there was a grave mistake for me not to pick the Jaguars. And I was right about that.
You were?
I knew I should have picked the Jaguars. I even admitted it on here, but I didn't because I told myself I can't pick against the Bills. Doing the same thing here with Detroit. Like, I know I should pick Tampa Bay. I know I should. But I'm not going to do it because I can't pick against Detroit. I just can't do it right now because, like, it's a weird thing. I'm a Packers fan, but part of me is kind of like, maybe not like on the Detroit bandwagon, but I'm like on the skateboard behind, just like hanging on, you know?
A little Back to the Future style, just
exactly.
Hitching a ride.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not like on the bandwagon, but like part of me is definitely rooting for them because they've always been the lovable losers, and like then they beat the Packers. Like, they were the better team. There's no doubt about it. So Like, and I have no shame admitting that. And like I said earlier, it's not the Packers' year. So, like, if Detroit's here, I'm all for that. I'm going Detroit in this game.
That's fair.
Next, we have at noon on Sunday, the 3-2 Indianapolis Colts traveling to the 3-2 Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville is favored by 4 with a 45.5-point favorite. Over-under. And ESPN fan vote is 86% on Jacksonville. I'm going to start with this game. And even though starting a backup quarterback, I'm taking Indianapolis for the fact that Jacksonville has been in London the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And with it being the advantage last week, I think it's going to be a major disadvantage this week coming back, and their bodies are still getting acclimated. I can't believe they didn't give Jacksonville a bye this week. Like, that's cruel. That's really cruel.
Why are you so mean?
Like, I thought it was bad when they didn't give Atlanta a bye week when they came back, but they were only there for one game. To not give the Jags a bye week after living in London for the past basically 3 weeks, almost a month, that is a real dick move, NFL.
That's the only reason. I just feel like they're going to be sluggish. And they've only won one game on American soil this year.
That's true.
And I believe it was against the Colts. So that's why they're going to lose.
Hey, what analysis right there from you, Diesel. I'm impressed. All right.
Yes, it was week 1. They beat the Colts.
Yeah. They didn't look good doing it, though.
This series is already going to be over in week 6.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. There's a lot of series that are like that because Kansas City plays Denver this week, and then I think they play Denver again in like 2 weeks, like almost right away. So their series is done by week 8, which is just
Weird.
very odd. But back to this game. So as you've done the past 2 where you're going to pick a team that you know you shouldn't, I'm going to pick Jacksonville here, but I 100% know I should not be. Everything points that Indy is going to win this game. Not only has Jacksonville been living in London for basically the past month, but this is the Gardner Minshew revenge game that he never thought he would get. He gets to go back into the house that he built, and he gets to spite them and go, you threw me away like a piece of garbage when I brought Duval back. Like, Duval ain't happening without Gardner Minshew.
Yep.
So I'm not gonna go against it. I am a big kitty guy. I'm gonna pick the big cat. I'm picking the Jaguars. But gosh darn it, should I know that I shouldn't be? Yes, I do, because I'm terrified of this game. I am not putting any money on this game at all. You know my feelings on AFC South games. No money from Chad shall go on this game. And a little part of me, once again, kind of want to bet on a tie. I want to almost pick a tie in this game just to really screw with everything. But I'm just going to pick Jacksonville and move on with my life.
Okay, moving on. Last game at noon on Sunday. We have the 3-2 New Orleans Saints traveling to the 2-3 Houston Texans. New Orleans is favored by 1.5 with a 42.5-point over-under. And the fan vote has New Orleans at 71%. Yeah. Houston, I thought we were going to win that game on Sunday. I thought they were going to be 3-2 this week, and I was rooting for them. There's something about this team, like CJ Stroud, like he's made me a fan. Pierce was lighting it up on Sunday, and that defense is playing really good. I think that Houston is coming along a lot faster than we thought they might, and I think I think CJ Stroud is the guy there. And I mean, it's early, but he's definitely the best quarterback to come out of this draft so far. And I don't think you can even argue that he isn't. But New Orleans, you just don't know what you're going to get with New Orleans. Their defense is really good, but are they going to put up points? I don't know. I'm going with Houston in this game. Just have a sneaky suspicion that it's in Houston. I just have this feeling that it's going to be another close game, and this time I think they're going to come out on top. But I do think this is going to be the game where CJ Stroud throws his first pick.
Yeah, probably the Honey Badger. I wouldn't be surprised if the Honey Badger.
Houston.
Yeah. Yep. That's 100% going to happen. Honey Badger with a pick six. Not a pick six, but at least a pick. I'm on Houston. I don't think New Orleans is very good. I know they just housed New England, and we'll get to that soon, but they did that with Derek Carr, didn't even throw for 200 yards. Alvin Kamara doesn't look like his former self yet. He's clearly not in football shape yet. And Houston is just playing like a team that wants it more. Excuse me. They are a young team. They are out there going hard for DeMeco Ryan, and they're playing just like a vicious animal.
Almost like a Dan Campbell effect.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, same kind of thing where they seem to be out toughing other teams. And I 100% thought they were going to beat Atlanta. And Younghoe Koo just is a little bit better of a kicker. And that's why they won. And I don't think that the Saints have that this week. So I also am on Houston.
You know, you were right. We are going to be talking about the Patriots real soon because they're actually in our next game. And at 3:05 on Sunday, we have the 1-4 New England Patriots traveling to the 2-3 Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are favored by 3 with 41.5 point over under, and fans are picking the Raiders at 86%. It's so weird to see that high of a fan pick for the Raiders and against the Patriots. It's just, I mean, I know with everything that's going on, I mean, it's surreal. Like with like the way the world has been the last 25 years, the NFL world has been the last 25 years. It's surreal to see that. But yeah, Las Vegas. Yeah, I don't know. That game on Monday night against the Packers, they should have won that game, without a doubt. They should have won that game by more. They missed 2 field goals. The Packers shouldn't even have been in it at the end of the game. Josh McDaniels is just an idiot because he could have also ended the game on that 4th and 1, but he decided to kick a field goal instead. Once again, watch Jaguar Gator 9's dumbest decision, because I love that guy. He gets so heated, and he's right. There's so many things that I don't even notice that he brings to my attention that this guy pays attention. So he doesn't have that many subscribers. So I suggest that you go, after you're done watching this, go subscribe to him and watch some of his great videos. But yeah, the Raiders, Jimmy G leads the NFL in interceptions, and he missed a week. Yeah, they can't get Josh Jacobs going. They won't throw the ball to Devontae Adams. It's not like Devontae Adams wasn't open. He just wasn't looking his way. Like, there were plenty of times against the Packers that Devontae Adams was open. It was just Jacoby Jones had a good game. Max Crosby had a good game. I just think that the reason the Packers lost was because the Raiders have the better player on offense and the better player on defense. And even though Adams wasn't the reason they won the game, Max Crosby was. That guy is insane. I've been watching another YouTube channel, Wi-Fi Willie Raiders. I don't know how I found this guy, and he covers the Raiders. But I've been watching his stuff because I like the way he does his videos and stuff like that. So I actually have a little more knowledge on the Raiders than I usually do. But yeah, they're not losing this game. I don't understand the Patriots. It's one of the most fascinating things in the whole league right now. Mac Jones and Bill Belichick. I don't understand. Bill Belichick wanted to trade Mac Jones. I know he wanted to trade Tom Brady too, but I don't know. Bill Belichick is either an evil genius or he could be a fraud. all these years where like Tom Brady wasn't getting the credit and all the credit was going to Bill Belichick, and he kind of proved going to Tampa Bay that maybe that wasn't the case, and we're finally seeing the real Bill Belichick. I don't know. I asked you on Sunday if Bill Belichick is on the hot seat or if he has a lifetime membership as the Patriots head coach, because I honestly don't know what Robert Kraft thinks. But, I mean, if I were the owner of the Patriots, I'd be seriously considering it right now. I'm not picking the Patriots, even though the Raiders suck. The Patriots are just a mess. Mac Jones is a mess. I don't have anybody to throw to. I heard rumors today that the Raiders would trade for Mac Jones and start him over Jimmy G. That would be interesting. I know you'd be all for it.
I would 100% all be down for that.
Yeah, I feel bad for the Patriots because, like, I was backing them all year last year. I kept on telling you, they're a draft away from being a good team. And I felt like they had a really good draft. I feel like this team has been poorly managed. They should have done something different at quarterback in this offseason, especially if Bill Belichick doesn't like Mac Jones. I don't understand. Maybe you could give me more context on it, because from an outsider's perspective, I just don't understand what Bill Belichick is doing. So I'll let you have the floor.
Well, first of all, 2 more fun facts that I wrote down from the weekend that I saw. First of all, through 5 weeks of NFL action, the Eagles kicker, Jake Elliott, has scored more points than the entire New England team, with Jake Elliott scoring 59 points so far this season and New England scoring 55. Also, Mac Jones.
Another fun fact for you. I'm sorry to steal your thunder. With the Raiders, they have yet to score 20 points yet in a game this year.
They have not. I did know that fact. But second fun fact about the Patriots is Mac Jones has now thrown as many pick sixes in Gillette Stadium as Tom Brady did his entire career as a Patriot. He has played in about 1/10 of the games that Tom Brady played in Gillette. Saying these things, for context, I have no clue, man. I don't really know how it turned so bad so quickly. Legitimately. I mean, I thought that I've been very adamant. I have been against Mac Jones since we drafted him. I said that, I'm sorry, no starting NFL quarterback has ever come from Alabama. And you want to know why? You don't learn to play quarterback in NFL or at Alabama. You just learn to chuck the ball to 3 yards to your dynamic playmaker, because they have every great player, or did. Now I know Alabama is also falling off the cliff. It's kind of a little weird that both the Patriots and Alabama are falling off the cliffs together. It's almost like Nick Saban and Bill Belichick want to ride off into the sunset together. Maybe that's what they're going to do with their later years. Who knows? But the Patriots team are god-awful right now. And Bill Belichick suffering in back-to-back weeks his worst losses of his entire illustrious, long, and I mean long career. I mean, Bill Belichick's been coaching for longer than most people live. He has been an NFL coach forever. It's just what it is. And they are so bad right now. And saying all of that, Diesel, America, you dumb.
So wrong.
Because the Patriots are winning this game. Diesel, you did steal my thunder, because the Raiders haven't scored 20 points once this season. They average 17 points a game. Now, yes, the Patriots average less, but you know what? We got to get this game. Bill, you got to beat Josh McDaniels. After the way you lost to him last year and the way this season is going, there's 2 things you got to do with the rest of this season. A, you got to win this game against Josh McDaniels. And B, you got to beat the Jets, because we can't let that streak go. Besides that, lose the rest of the games. We want to be in the Caleb Williams Bowl at the end of this season for the high draft picks. But this week, it's about pride. This week, it's about Josh McDaniels. You are a garbage fire of a coach. And you know what? You can't make us look worse than you. You deserve to be getting all of this hatred, and you keep getting lucky and you squeaking out victories. You didn't deserve to beat the Packers this last week. The Packers beat the Packers themselves. All right? You didn't win that game at all. Your coaching almost lost them that game. And I swear to God, Josh McDaniels lucks into a win against the Patriots this week again, like they did last year. I'm going to lose it. And I know, once again, this is the comeuppance. My entire life has been a cakewalk as a Patriots fan, besides my very young years when the Packers beat them in the Super Bowl. After that, it's been all the gravy train, basically. So I deserve this, but I still hate it. And I need this win. I need the Patriots to beat the Raiders. And because I did it last week against them, I'm doing it this week and hoping it's good mojo. This is the silver lock of the week, folks. New England is winning this game. Take the points. Even if the Raiders do win this game, they're going to win it in a fluky-ass way, and they're not going to win by more than 3. They'll win by 2 at the most. Silver lock of the week, Patriots.
So I got 2 things. Did you see Mark Davis call Josh McDaniels an asshole from the owner's box?
I did see that.
Like, dude, you're the owner, man. Like, just fire him. Like,
well, you did see that.
Also,
I got
3 things.
Oh.
Another thing is, if Josh McDaniels gets fired this year, which I actually think he will be fired in season, what are the odds that John Gruden comes back? So I actually think they're pretty high because Mark Davis didn't want to fire him in the first place.
Time heals all wounds.
I would think that I'm for it. I mean, the guy did something really stupid, but yeah, like, he's a good coach. I mean, that shouldn't be justification, and I probably sound ignorant for saying that. But yeah, I'm gonna move on to my last thing that I was gonna say. Your critique on Alabama quarterbacks. They got Tua, and you also got Jalen Hurts, and you're really high on Bryce Young. But
you know what? Just prove me wrong about
a good quarterback to come out of
Alabama. I hate you. I hate you so much right now, and I'm really mad. All right, just really mad. just so mad. I hate Mac Jones so much.
I don't blame you.
He just makes me so watching him play football is like watching Iowa football on repeat. It's painful, and I don't know how I'm supposed to do this like day after day. How do you do this? How did Iowa fans stay Iowa fans?
I don't know. They're tight end university, so that's how they survive. They have tight ends and defensive ends. They have them coming out of the wazoo. That's all I know. Yeah. Moving on to the next game. We have at 3:25 on Sunday. We have the 1-4 Arizona Cardinals traveling to the 2-3 Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are favored by 7 with a 48.5 point over/under, and the fans have the Rams at 95%, and I can't disagree with that. Cooper Kupp looks healthy, and Puka, he scored a touchdown. Arizona, I'm off that. They're like, I thought they were going to beat Cincinnati. I really did think they were going to beat Cincinnati, but I also realized that they just had a little fairy dust sprinkled on them before the season that gave them an extra little boost. I almost said angel dust. You
got an angel with you.
Yeah, there you go.
Are you an angel?
Screw you.
But I got the Rams in this game.
I don't have much to say about this game at all. I 100% have the Rams. The Arizona Fighting Chickens are who they thought they were, and the Rams are who I thought they were. Yeah, they lost to the Eagles, but they didn't lose to the Eagles badly and just couldn't get over the hump in that second half. The Eagles defense just kept closing the door on them on third down. They were moving the ball, but they just couldn't score any points. So I think the Rams are by far a better team than Arizona. And I think that they're going to maybe challenge for a wild card spot come the end of the season.
I really feel like they got out-coached. I really feel like Kevin Stefanski is the real deal. Wait, no, that's not. That's the Browns coach.
What's his name? No, I can't think of the Eagles coach.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. He was just in the Super Bowl last year. I should know his name. I feel like an idiot now. I just made myself look like an idiot in front of the whole world. Do that every week. I don't know why I'm surprised. I'm not surprised that you didn't notice a couple weeks ago that I got all the games wrong for who was the home team and who the away team was.
Oh, I knew because I did the graphics. I just let it go.
Yeah, I was rewatching it and I'm like, oh no. Hopefully nobody noticed that, but I know I brought to everybody's attention. But
I'm doing my best.
Moving on to the last afternoon game on Sunday, we have the 5-0 Philadelphia Eagles traveling to the 2-3 New York Jets. The Eagles are only favored by 7. That's because the Jets actually have a good defense. Over-under is 41, maybe. And the Eagles, fan vote, have the Eagles at 96%. I'll let you. I think I picked the last few games first. You can go first with this one.
I mean, the Eagles, I'm still not sold on them, folks. I know that the defense it might be for real. I think it is. I might have jumped the gun on saying that this defense wasn't as good as it is. I don't think it's a great defense, but it's damn good. This offense, on the other hand, though, I'm not sold. I think that they are still trying to figure some stuff out. And if they don't have the tush push and A.J. Brown doesn't just light it up every single game, they're not averaging a ton of points. They're going to win this game, obviously. I'm not going to talk myself into a Jets victory in this game, but I just think for the long haul that the Eagles are obviously the second best team in the NFC right now. But I think the chasm between 1 and 2 is much greater than the distance between 2 and 3, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I have the Eagles as well. That being said, I do feel like Zach Wilson is showing a little more confidence. I feel like he outdueled Patrick Mahomes a couple weeks ago. He played well against the Broncos. I mean, he had a few mistakes, but I mean, he's
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. They need to get the ball to Breece Hall, and that was pretty much Breece Hall and Bryce Hall were the difference makers this week for the Jets.
Yeah.
So if Breece Hall is the hero on offense, Bryce Hall will be the hero on defense. That's the way it's going to go. But I don't think that's going to happen this week because I do think the Eagles are really good. I don't know why I don't think their offense is that good or they're figuring stuff out. Swift has been really good. He's shown that trade was worth it. Goddard is quietly one of the best tight ends in the league that no one ever really talks about as much. And he's also the name of Jimmy Neutron's dog.
This here is my dog, Goddard.
There was another point. Oh, and they have...
How long have you been waiting to drop that bit of knowledge? Have you just been sitting on that for how long? Ooh, I got to get a Dick Goddard reference in there.
To be honest, I just thought of that right now.
Oh, okay.
For real. It just hit me. I'm like, oh, they have the same name. And then they have one of the best offensive lines in the league with arguably the best center, Jason Kelsey. I don't know. And Jalen Hurts isn't too shabby himself. I think the Eagles are pretty good, but I don't think they're better than the 49ers. And honestly, if the 49ers had a quarterback in the NFC Championship last year, they probably would have beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
But we'll probably find out this year in this year's playoffs because would not be surprised if that's the NFC Championship. But go Lions. Yeah, I got the Eagles. I don't think it's going to be much of a game. I think 41 for the over-under is actually pretty good because I think that the Jets will keep the score down. I think both defenses are pretty good, and the score is not going to be super high. But moving on, Sunday Night Football. We get the New York Giants again in prime time. This is like the fourth time in like 6 weeks that we get the Giants in prime time. They're 1-4. They're traveling to the 3-2 Buffalo Bills. Bills are favored by 14 with a 45-point over/under. ESPN fan vote has them at 99%, the Bills that is, winning this game. And honestly, I think the Bills are going to be angry because they didn't show up to London. And I know that they're traveling back to America, but I mean, Giants are that bad. Giants don't have a defense. They don't have a receiver on that team. They have the worst receiving core in the league. I don't know if Saquon's playing, but I don't even think that matters, to be honest with you. Daniel Jones is showing his true colors. Yeah, I think the Bills are one of the better teams coming off of a loss. They proved that a couple weeks ago after they lost in week 1. I don't see this being a game, and I actually might skip it. I probably won't, but if I was going to skip a game, this would be the one I would skip.
Yeah, 100% would be the game I would skip. I am definitely on the Bills here as well. I once again do want to hark back to our preview show just one more time. Probably not. I'll do it again, I guarantee, in another episode. But when we did that preview show way back when, I remember like when we did the NFC East, I accidentally left the Giants out. And after we finished the show up, I remember thinking to myself, man, that was really dumb. Like, the Giants are a good team. They have a great coach, and their quarterback is ascending, and Saquon Barkley is going to be back, and this receiver core is going to come together, and that defense is going to be there. And no, none of those things are true. Not a single one. They are the epitome of a team that made the playoffs. It's going to go to a bottom dweller. They're going to be one of those teams that proves the rule that it happens every year, because God, they're bad. They are bad. It's not Brian Gable's fault. Like he's trying. They just can't do anything on either side of the ball. They are inept at wide receiver. They have no offensive line. And without Saquon Barkley, the white Michael Vick that is Daniel Jones doesn't run. It just doesn't work. And they're a bad team. The Bills all day.
I feel like they made a mistake by paying Daniel Jones. I heard an interesting thing this week. I forgot where I heard it. I think I heard it on like the radio, some talk show. Teams aren't paying for these quarterbacks because they think that they're the guy. They're paying these quarterbacks because they don't want to find the guy, because it's so hard to find that guy. They just want to have somebody, and they're paying in the hopes that they're the guy, even though they know they're not the guy. It was more eloquent than that, but yeah. And like, it makes sense to me. Like, Daniel Jones is probably like the perfect example of that. Like, the Giants needed to go out and find a new quarterback, but they didn't want to because that's too hard, and they already have one that they've already invested time into, so we might as well pay him, and maybe he'll pan out, but I don't think it's going to work out for them, and he's not going to play through this whole contract. I can almost promise you that. He'll be on some other team. I'm sure some other team will give him a chance to start. It'll be a backup and for a bad team and come a starter again because of injury. I don't know, but yeah. I think that the Daniel Jones experiment in New York probably should be done. And they're in the Caleb Williams Bowl right now, or whatever.
Sweepstakes. I keep calling it a bowl. It's really a sweepstakes. I'm just an idiot and I'm using the wrong terminology.
Sweepstakes, and they could get them. If that's the case, yeah, I would do it. I would definitely do it and say bye-bye, Daniel Jones, and take Mac Jones with you.
Like, how much longer until the NFL just doesn't pay anyone? Like, how long until the NFL is just like, you have a 5-year career? That's it. And then we're just going to replace you with a new college guy.
I mean, that's what they already do at running back.
Yeah, it's how long until it's every position?
Right? I don't know. Yeah, pretty soon you're going to be seeing like the average retirement age is 25 in the NFL. Except at quarterback. Quarterbacks, they'll always go in. Quarterbacks and kickers.
I was just going to say quarterbacks, kickers, and punters. They're the only ones that are going to make it to 40, every one of them. Everyone else retires at 25.
Yep. All right, moving on to Monday Night Football. This is actually an interesting game. We have the 3-2 Dallas Cowboys traveling to the 2-2 Los Angeles Chargers. Dallas is favored by 2 with a 51-point over-under. Dallas has the fan vote at 52%. We got in this game.
This is, I think, the toughest game of the week to call, and it is. I truly, I'm going into starting this conversation with you right now, not knowing which way I'm going to go with this pick.
I know which way I'm going to go. So if you want me to go first, I can.
I would love to hear your thoughts on it because I am not sure right now. I've gone back and forth on this game a lot.
I have 3 reasons why I'm picking the Los Angeles Chargers. Reason number 1, you know that Texas and California are relatively close, but Texas is a big state. And I mean, it is different time zones. They're going from the central time zone to the Pacific time zone. That will affect you a little bit. Even though Dallas just got rocked by San Francisco, I think San Francisco exposed them, and they showed a lot of their weaknesses in this game. Another reason, Kellen Moore is the offensive coordinator of the Chargers, and he was the one who was the scapegoat last year of why the Cowboys failed at the end of the season. And I don't think he was the problem. I think it was Mike McCarthy, and I think he's going to go out there and he's going to outcoach Mike McCarthy, and he's like, it's going to be a statement game for him. I feel like this is just a transitional job for Kellen Moore. I think he'll be a head coach next year. And the third reason, Chargers were just on their bye. I like, and they have Justin Herbert, who probably has been the best quarterback this year overall. And like, there's gonna be a lot of points scored in this game. I know Dallas has a good defense, but there's one thing that the Chargers do well, and that is score a lot of points. I think Dallas is going to get their points in too because the Chargers don't have a very good defense, and Brandon Staley is their coach, and he runs their defense, and they suck. But I do think that the Chargers offense is going to come out on top in this one, and that's why I got the Chargers.
Oh, I don't like this game at all. I don't like this because I think that you are right. I think San Francisco exposed Dallas, but I do think Dallas is a good enough team that they can fix some stuff and come back together and come out swinging against a San Diego Chargers team. Yeah, I said San Diego, and I don't care. Chargers team that is broken. I know that there's so many good pieces on this team, but I'm telling you, there's something rotten in Denmark. It's the head coach, and he's just bad. And I just can't trust him, even coming off a bye. But I don't trust Dak Prescott at all. And Dak is what my hang up here is. I really want to pick Dallas, even though they just got rocked by San Francisco, even though it's going against my bye week rule, even though I do like the Chargers, sort of, kind of, not really at all. Screw it. You know what? I'll give you a chance, Diesel. I think this is another 50-50 game. I think America is right at being 52%. I think it could go either way. But yeah, give me Dallas and a bounce back situation. They have to listen to all of the pundits, just rip on them all week, giving them so much bulletin board material. They have to wait all the way till Monday night to play. That is just so much motivation, and I'm going to go the opposite way where Mike McCarthy is going to make his statement saying, I am better than you, Kellen Moore. So you weren't needed, and that's why we got rid of you.
So after making all these picks, there's a couple of things that I've noticed.
I go against all my own rules.
No, that's one of them. I was going to say that. The first thing I noticed was every single fan vote has the favorite. That's one thing. Another thing is you picked 3 out of 4 of the teams that were on bye last week to lose.
I know I did.
And that's crazy. And another thing is we have 7 different games this week. So, like, let's say that you beat me in all 7 of those games. You could have a really big lead.
No. This is the week. This is the collapse. This is the collapse, Diesel.
I don't know, man. I don't know. There's some game. I don't know. This tells me that this is the hardest week to pick because we're usually on the same page. Lately, we've been on the same page on a lot of things, and we even agreed on some things, even though we picked different teams. I don't know. This is gonna be a weird week. There's gonna be some change in the standings after this week, and yeah,
I'm
excited to see what happens. It's gonna be a good week.
Whew, I'm scared. I'm really scared.
Do you have any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
I just dropped my pen, so if you're watching the video, that's why I was just oddly looking down at the floor. It wasn't because I'm actually that scared. I just dropped my pen. Besides that, other final thoughts? Not really. I think this is a very interesting week of NFL action. The game is either very lopsided or it's a complete 50-50. There's like no in between. I'm either 1,000% sure about the game or I have no idea, and the earthquake is back in Lambeau Field. So
and it's not the same cat either.
Nice. So I'll let you give some final thoughts before the computer is taken out.
I just want to end this thing before my laptop closes because one of these cats are going to close this laptop. So I'm just going to say I'm excited for this week. I'm going to miss the London game because it's Benji's birthday, my son's second birthday party on Sunday. So Chad will be there too. So I'm forcing him to miss it as well, or at least some of it. But it ends at noon. The party ends at noon. So I'll be catching most of the afternoon slate of games. Probably miss a little bit of the first quarter. And let's get on. It's probably missed most of the first quarter because I have to clean up. That sucks.
Yep.
I live so close too. But anyways, yeah, it's gonna be a good week. I'm kind of happy the Packers aren't playing because maybe Packer fans can take this week to chill out. It won't happen. But yeah, so that being said, you might as well throw the social media stuff up there, and there.
Yes. Follow myself here. Follow Diesel over there. No, over there. Follow the show down there. Make sure you're commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And in the comments this week, why don't you put, I don't know, the weirdest thing that we said? Or what's your favorite sandwich? I don't know. Put something in the comments. Just put hi.
Stefanski is the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes, that was pretty weird.
Yep. Well, on that note, it's going to be an exciting week 6. I'm really excited. Chad's really excited. How many times can I say excited to end the show? I'm excited to end the show. I'm just going to say it. Let's go watch some football.
Bye.
This has been a Visionaries Global Media production. Visionaries Global Media, envisioning excellence on a global scale.